Unfortunately, you still can't really talk about sneaker releases, how they come and go, without talking about the supply chain issues still interrupting them. The global footwear industry remains unsettled. The sneakers you're expecting may not show up when they're supposed to, or they may not show up at all. Through these obstacles, though, there have been plenty of exciting shoes in the first half of the year. These are the sneaker releases that you have to talk about when you talk about 2022. Or at least the first 6 months of it. Today, I'm going to show you the best sneakers of 2022. Before the video begins, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Now, let's begin. 10. Rick and Morty x Puma MB1. Release date February 18. Price $135. It's not often that you'll find a Puma shoe on our best sneaker of the year list, and a lot of that has to do with the lackluster product the brand has been putting out lately. But the signing of future star LaMelo Ball has helped its attempt to shift that narrative. Combine the fact that Ball's first signature shoe is quite good with Rick and Morty as a collaborative partner, and you have one of the 10 best sneakers of 2022 so far. The hype behind this sneaker is surprisingly big. It's sold out almost immediately and currently flips on StockX for well over double its retail value. Of course, mismatched basketball sneakers are not for everybody, but a lot of factors are working in this shoe's favor to earn it some recognition. Ben Felderstein. 9. Joe Freshgoods x New Balance 9060. Release date May 18. Price $180. New Balance follows a pretty reliable formula when it comes to its shoes. Keep the model simple, only adding slight modifications to make things better as the years go on. Very rarely do we see drastic updates to sneakers or new iterations that make people feel strong emotions. The 9060 breaks that mold. Its upper is similar to that of the brand's 990 lineage, although it has more daring lines and a pointier toe. But the sole unit is where the 9060 has made its own waves. Instead of a thick, sturdy tooling like many New Balance shoes, the 9060 has modular units, which culminate on and protrude from the heel. The sneaker launched through a two-shoe collaboration with Joe Freshgoods via Instagram's new footwear release platform. There were major glitches with the initial drop, which caused Instagram to re-release the shoes. 8. Gucci x Adidas Gazelle. Release date June 7. Price $850. I didn't want to like these at first. I love Gazelles, although Adidas completely rinsed the shoe 5 to 6 years ago. Gazelle indoors aren't as good as the regular Gazelle, which is an iteration from the 90s. The see-through gum sole with the trefoil tread is quite good, but let's cut to the chase. An Adidas x Gucci collaboration is massive. When the project was first announced, there were some heelish dress shoes and sneaker fanatics who were confused about whether there'd be anything for them in it. There ended up being a handful of Gazelles, and they were done up in premium materials with the right details. 7. Nocta x Nike Hot Step Air Terra. Release date March 3rd. Price $180. Drake's Nocta x Nike Hot Step Air Terra is hardly the first collaborative sneaker to wear his name. But after years of Air Jordan collabs and a successful apparel line with Nike, following a brief break as he flirted with other brands, the Canadian superstar finally has a model to call his own. The sneaker unexpectedly takes design insights from trail running shoes, seen most obviously in its rugged outsole tread and 3-meter detailing. The initial all-white and all-black colorways that launched left some fans feeling underwhelmed, especially after such a long wait for something totally new. 6. Travis Scott x Nike Air Max 1. Release date May 27. Price $150. If ever there was a collaboration with true baggage, it would be the Travis Scott x Nike Air Max 1. What began with a shock during a moment when Travis Scott had the world's attention didn't come to fruition till nearly 7 months later, after his Aspro World Festival went awry and turned deadly. The sneaker itself wasn't directly related to the events that transpired, but it will be forever linked with the disastrous evening. That makes the shoe's own merits a bit hard to judge, but when it's separated from the tragedy that led to its delayed launch, some pretty interesting details come to light. The earth tone color schemes and reversed swooshes are elements we've come to expect from Cactus Jack collabs. But what wasn't as obvious was the dip into the 90s Nike archive to incorporate elements from the long-forgotten Nike ACG pocket knife. 5. Union X Air Jordan 2. Release date April 15. Price $225. Union and Jordan brand's latest project was actually meant to come out last holiday season, but supply chain disruptions held the Future Is Now Air Jordan 2s off until April. The irony is that the collection itself is based around the concept of time, reimagining the Air Jordan 2 with a futuristic spin that makes the shoe look like it's been battered through the years. For the Future Is Now capsule, we wanted to juxtapose what some futuristic gear might look like after it had been worn and patinaed. Reads the store's official description. So often you see people's vision of the future and it is all crisp and sterile. We thought it might be fun to wear it in a little bit and make it organic. 4. Nike Kobe 6 Retro Mambacita Sweet 16. Release date May 1st. Price $180. Just a year ago, it looked like the days of new Nike Kobe releases were over. Complex broke the news in April 2021 that the late basketball legend's estate had not reached a new agreement with Nike. However, there were still a handful of Kobe retros slated for release. One of them was the Mambacita Sweet 16. Kobe 6, a tribute to Kobe and his daughter Gigi, complete with their jersey numbers on the lateral heel and a Mambacita logo stamped on the heel counter. As with many in-demand sneakers, images of the pair ended up leaking and some were even listed on eBay. 3. Air Jordan 1 High 85 Georgetown. Release date April 2nd. Price $200. Thus far, Jordan Brand's vintage-informed Air Jordan 1 Retro High 85 releases have been a mixed bag. Some of the colorways have left something to be desired. 2020's reverse band was a great in theory, but it was hard to top the real thing, and even though the red and white New Beginnings pair was worn by Michael Jordan in the 1980s, it didn't hit quite like some of the more sought-after styles. Deviating from the Chicago Bulls inspiration from 2022, Jordan Brand looked to one of MJ's college rivals for this Georgetown pair, appearing to take a page from the Nike Terminator worn by Patrick Ewing and the Hoyas in the mid-80s. This is a new Jordan 1 colorway that legitimately looks like it could have dropped back in that day. 2. Union X Nike Dunk Low. Release date April 2nd. Price $150. Look, if you're sick of seeing dunks by now, we totally get it. The retro 1985 basketball sneaker has been everywhere for the past 2 years. From the rare Nike SB versions crushing the resale market to the high-volume general release black and white pairs that are inescapable. The Nike Dunk moment that started off this decade has been an enjoyable return to glory for the silhouette, but also just a little bit tiring. How much more do we really need? 1. Louis Vuitton x Nike Air Force 1 Low. Release date 2022. Price $126,500. Average auction price. No sneaker collaboration better epitomizes how ambitious Virgil Abloh was in his work than the Louis Vuitton x Nike Air Force 1. When the shoes were unveiled at Louis Vuitton's Spring 2022